When you need to create a new business partner that mimics an existing template, the most logical step is to look for a Create with Reference button. But on the default business partner screen, that option isn't visible. Without a reference option, setting up a new vendor requires you to manually populate every field. This repetitive data entry takes time and increases the chance of configuration errors across your supplier records. The reference functionality is actually available. However, it is context-dependent, appearing only after a specific sequence of role selections. To use this shortcut, you will need your S/4HANA access and the specific ID number of the business partner you want to use as your data template. Following this sequence changes the workflow from a fully manual setup to one that populates complex fields based on your existing template. Enter the BP transaction code and choose the option to create a new organization. If the system displays a warning regarding unsaved data or previous entries, click Create to proceed to the next screen. In the BP role drop-down menu, select a role that contains financial or purchasing data, such as supplier accounting data. Once that role is active, the With Reference button appears on your toolbar. S/4HANA requires you to define the role first so it can identify which specific data segments, like company code or purchasing org data, are relevant to copy. Declaring the role is the necessary step to make the replication feature available within the S/4HANA interface. Click With Reference and enter the ID number of the business partner you are using as your template. The system will then ask if you want to overwrite the supplier general data. We select Yes to separate the two types of data. This allows us to adopt the underlying financial rules while leaving the name and address fields blank for the new entity. Now you can enter the new vendor's details, including the name, country, and language, without affecting the copied configurations. Navigate to the Company Code tab to verify that the financial settings have migrated successfully, then save the record. Using this override allows the business to maintain consistent financial parameters while correctly identifying separate legal entities. To extend this to purchasing, switch to Change Mode and select the Supplier Purchasing Data role. Enter your purchasing organization and use the With Reference function again to pull in the operational data from your template. Review the auto-populated fields and enter any remaining mandatory data, such as the order currency, before saving. There is also an alternative path. From the SAP home screen, you can use the legacy transaction code XK01. When you initiate an organization via XK01, you skip the requirement to select a BP role first. Because this transaction redirects to specific company code data, the reference fields are available immediately on the initial screen. While the BP transaction is the current standard, XK01 provides a more direct entry point for users focused specifically on vendor data. You have now created a configured business partner that inherits complex settings without the need for manual entry of every parameter. By pulling data directly from a verified template, you reduce the likelihood of manual entry errors when aligning new records with your existing organizational standards. This method maintains data consistency across your procurement and financial operations, ensuring that the background configurations match throughout the landscape. Utilizing the system's reference tools allows you to focus on the unique details of each partner, while the software handles the underlying configuration. Subscribe for more S/4HANA workflow insights.
Jumpstart your career with SAP Experts Academy.